Welcome back to another Power Rangers series review. Today, talking about Time Force. Power Rangers Time Force. Don't remember the series at all growing up as a kid. I watched maybe like 1 or 2 episodes here and there. I remember the dumb talking robot owl and their clock tower they lived in. That's all I remember from this series. And surprisingly, the series was okay. It really grew on me. It started off really cheesy, reminded me a lot of Turbo. I was like, oh god, please no, don't want to see this again. Then it turned out to be really fun. Time Force is about 5 Power Rangers who live in the year 3000, and the evil Rancic and his daughter go back to the year 2001 to just try to change the future so he can rule the future. These 4 Power Rangers, because one literally died in the beginning of the series, jump back to 2001 and try to stop Rancic and meet a guy who looks very similar to the Red Power Ranger that died in the very first episode. Happens to be an old relative. Like I said, this series started off really rough for me. I thought it was way too corny. It was stupid. The Rangers were weird. But more and more I watched it, I found myself really enjoying this series. And that's due to some pretty good storylines and great character dynamics, and this series being not afraid to hold back. One thing I found to be very interesting is I honestly felt like the Power Rangers were not important at all. There was these group of men who were like the military who were working for the Red Ranger's father, and they would protect businesses if they paid them, and they would stop these villains from destroying the building. So they were always there. They were always one step ahead of the Power Rangers, and I honestly felt like the Power Rangers were just way behind everything and were not important. And you know, the Power Rangers should be important. It's a Power Rangers series, but I thought that was a great shift in the storytelling that, you know, many people did not want the Power Rangers to be there in the first place. So I thought that was a great way to tell the story and actually get the Power Rangers to, you know, become more relevant in 2001, because they were from the year 3000 and they already had these dynamics and things set up. And then here becomes the Power Rangers Time Force. We don't really need them. We already have these people. The show also had a great mixture of being gritty and also just being fun. You know, they weren't afraid to do things like other series haven't done in the past, like kill off a Red Ranger right in the beginning, and a guy pull out like knives out of his body. I mean, there was a lot of things that were like, whoa, what are you doing here? But they worked out in the end. I thought the team worked really well together, and then there was the Quantum Ranger who looked exactly like the Red Ranger, and they were old friends, and he was mean. He was not the very nicest guy ever, but he came around, and I thought that was a great storyline as well. He worked for the same company the Red Ranger's father was employing, and so they just like cared about money, and you know, this is what I have to do. Do not get in my way. Even though he was still like that throughout the whole entire series, he came around and helped out the Power Rangers a lot. There was an established villain, Rancic, and his daughter, I forgot her name, whatever. She reminded me a lot of Diva Talk. She was very, give me everything I want money, I want jewelry, I want cars, I want boys, all those different things. And it came, and her costume and her acting, you know, it was pretty bad. And it was just way too corny, and sometimes it didn't mix with what the other storylines were doing. But I really did like Rancic. He pulled swords out of his body. That was really cool. I thought it was really well. And then there was another storyline of robots trying to take over, so I thought it was really cool. But there were some character shifts in the villains. You know, they really hated humans, and then suddenly like they liked humans. I mean, the character shifts came out of left field and, you know, weren't really developed there in the first place. And for a series about Time Force Rangers who are from the future, there's like no time jumping whatsoever. There's like one time jump where they go back to get like a T-Rex Megazord. But other than that, you know, I expected some like time jumps to like some different periods of time. You know, they were stuck in 2001. I mean, come on. It's Time Force Rangers. They jump through time. Do something with it. But I found myself to really enjoy the series. I thought the Rangers worked really well together. They had a lot of fun. They quite didn't know how to balance its leader. You know, the Pink Ranger was the leader at first. Then they had the Red Ranger, and of course he's got to be the leader. So they went back and forth on who was the leader, and I honestly think the Pink Ranger should have been the leader. She was really cool. The Red Ranger was really fun as well. So they honestly felt like teenagers as well, like in this whole new world. So I really liked that. But the villains, some of the villains were iffy, and there was no time jumping. But I did find a lot of enjoyment in this series. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B. Have you guys seen Power Rangers Time Force? What did you think about it compared to the other series? I do think it's better than Lost Galaxy, and better than Lightspeed Rescue, and better than Turbo. Not as good as Space, though. Alright, on to Wild Force. And I heard this one's pretty bad, and I have not seen any of this. I did not watch Wild Force at all when I was a kid. It absolutely stopped at Time Force. So everything else from Wild Force on is going to be brand new for me. So thank you guys for watching all my Power Rangers series reviews. It's Power Rangers. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, but it's going to be fun as well. So you know what to expect when you watch these reviews. So let's just watch the movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.